অ্যান্ড আই সেড ছেড়ে দে, আর দেখে কোনো লাভ নেই, যা হবার হয়ে গেছে। এমন একটা সময় রেজাল্ট বেরোলো, আমি আর নিটটাও ভালো করে দিতে পারবো না। Hey guys, welcome back to Week Megha. Myself, Upasona Panday, second professional MBBS student from NRS Kolkata. It's going to be a bit lengthy. I am going to share with you all my own story before I got admitted to a medical college. So, please stay with us till the end of the video. Let's begin. It all started in 2017 when I just got promoted to class 11. I was excited. New books, new experiences, and totally new sphere of life. It was going good. I also got admitted to Akash Live by the end of the board's examination and by the time the classes began. I also took subject-wise tuition classes. It was all going good. I was totally enjoying my new life. I began to resonate in the new frequency. Suddenly, not suddenly, gradually, something happened to me. It all changed my life. I began to lose interest in everything and I completely gave up studies. I already stopped going to school and by that time I started skipping my Akash classes. I performed so poor in the AIATS and all other exams, like 220, 230 out of 720. I became so demotivated that I stopped attempting the exams. It was the beginning of my downfall, first time ever in my life. I gradually entered the phase of depression. The feeling of suffocation was on. Every time it felt like a heavy stone was put on my chest and I was struggling to breathe. With these clinical symptoms, I presented to doctor and one of the doctor prescribed me with antidepressants. My performance in the first examination of school was wonderful. I failed in maths with a score of 7.5 out of 50 and a total percentage of 49 point something. A parent-teacher meeting was arranged and I was asked to stand up there in front of 40 students and their respective guardians. I was scolded throughout the meeting. Here, just at this moment, I would like to add a few notes about my family. I belong to a village named Kotulpur in Bankura, and my school is around 30 kilometers away from my home. I used to travel by school bus till class 9, and in class 10, my parents decided to shift to Aramba so that I don't face any problem in study. And it was the case that the distance of my mother's school increased to 42 kilometers and for Baba it was the same 30. My parents support me in all situations of my life. But that was the time they weren't beside me. They used to question over my miserable condition. They used to say they are doing so much and what am I doing. They insisted me to score good. But they didn't understand me at that time. Things were getting very difficult for me. Once in a tuition class, one of the students from my batch said that, "Sir, class 10 অবধি তো মুখ দেখেই মার্কস দিয়ে দেওয়া হয় আমাদের স্কুলে, তাই তো কত জানি ফার্স্ট হয়, এখন তো স্যার দেখাই যাচ্ছে, বলুন স্যার?" And sir laughed a lot at this and I was the first girl of our school, so it was all on me. My face was red, my ears were hot. I felt so bad. I just put my head down like this and I sat there. I couldn't react. I couldn't utter a single word. I was quite... I was already demotivated and people were adding too much to that. I skipped school and I insisted that I was studying. But believe me, I didn't study for a single day during the daytime. I used to play games, I used to listen to new music, and I used to cry over my miserable condition without even touching my books. to sit quiet in all the classes. I felt so inferior. I used to understand everything when things were taught. But when coming back to home, I never read them. As a result, my preparation was zero. Slowly, class 11 was about to end, and me with not a single completed chapter. Only the initial parts of physics I did found very interesting, and I had a quite grip there, but the rest of the syllabus was a big question mark to me. My life was dark, with no source of light, no helping hand, no one beside me, no one who would wrap his hand over my shoulder and said, "It's okay." I was alone in my miserable life. Only when I closed my eyes at the end of the day, I could see myself getting admitted in a medical college in 2019. Not in 2020, not in 21, but in 19. That was the ray of hope in my life. Slowly, I got adapted to my miserable life. I started accepting myself, and that reduced my outburst of anxiety. I used to set goals. By that time, I agreed myself to study. So I used to set goals that till March 2018, I will complete this. So initially I had 4 months, then 3 months, 2 months, 1 month, 0. And at the end, I completed 5 to 10% of the syllabus. I got promoted to class 12. That time, we had exam for the selection of the toppers batch in Akas. And I found that interesting. I also pushed myself to at least study every day. And slowly what happened, I grew the habit of studying again. And I was getting acquainted with the syllabus. I was starting to have a grip over the syllabus. So I forced myself that you have to give the exams. I gave the exams, and I, along with 5 other students from our batch, from our weekend batch, got selected to the toppers batch. That was a game changing in my life. I still remember the date, 4th August 2018, the classes started. That was the turning point of my life. I got so much motivation. It changed myself. I began to study like a beast. I was reading my current syllabus as well as I was getting through with my class 11. By this time, my parents also became very much supportive. Here I would like to say that initially I was a student of weekend batch of Akas Life, but as we got selected to the toppers batch, we had to shift our regular classes to weekdays. So I again began skipping my Akas classes, and I had to completely depend on my tuition classes for my syllabus. To watch the recordings whenever necessary. Life was going good. But the worst was yet to come. My beloved physics sir gave up the batch because everyone in Arambagh had 2 sir for every subject. Sir said that he will complete my syllabus, I need not have to worry, but he did not keep his words. Physics, my favorite subject, became a mess too. At this point of time, it was not possible for me to go with Akash Life for my physics. So, helpless, hopeless, I had to study the rest of the syllabus from web by myself. It was already December and it took too much time for me to read everything by myself. I used to refer to the recorded classes, but that wasn't very much favorable. It was a huge chunk of syllabus and I wasn't with that track, so I could not catch hold of Akash Life. What happened as a result is that I started forgetting the previous topics due to lack of practice. But I was determined to complete everything, so I didn't give up hope. I kept on with my efforts. I became so obsessed that I began to sit for the exam in every batches. Whenever there was an exam in any batch, I used to go there. It was near my board exam and I didn't focus on that. I still remembered that it was 3 weeks to my board exam and I was still doing MCQ from mechanics. Because by hook or by crook, I had to crack NEET. Somehow I gave my board exam, and by that time, I already did complete all the MCQs. So at the last 1 month was the time for only the full syllabus test. The elimination in the ACADS toppers batch continued till the last exam. I survived each one of them. What I used to do in the last month was to attend the exam, and after the exam, sit with the exam paper and solve all the questions that I could not do or did mistake. After that, I used to do MCQ from individual chapters. And every evening, I used to take the previous year's paper and solve the one in the OMR sheet. And at night, I used to study. I was performing well in my exams. To tell about physics, my god, my score was 68 to a paper where the highest score was 176. Tell me, where would my confidence level go? I even counted how much should I get in biology and chemistry to score 600, because I had no faith in physics. I used to get around 96, 80, 84. Around that, my highest score as far as I remember is 115. That's all. When I used to score bad in my exams, the score in physics used to be good. But now look, I scored good, but poor marks in physics. 5th May was approaching. It was 2nd May. I was solving my exam paper after leaving the exam. One of my friends called me and said that, "Koto peyechish?" That means, what's your score? I was like, what? For a few seconds, I thought that something has happened to me. I lost my memory. I was trapped in a memory loop. NEET was over and I could not give the exam. I gathered courage and asked her, what exam? She said, boards. Boards? Oh, boards. No, I haven't checked. Let me check. Then I checked the result. It read out English 83. And I said, ছেড়ে দে, আর দেখে কোনো লাভ নেই, যা হবার হয়ে গেছে, এমন একটা সময় রেজাল্ট বেরোলো, আমি আর নিটটাও ভালো করে দিতে পারবো না। But then I was like, ঠিক আছে, বাকিটা দেখি। And it read like Bengali 98, Physics 95, Chemistry 95, Maths 95, Biology 98. I was perplexed. I couldn't understand. I could not evaluate my result. So I asked to my mother, who is sitting in the next room because she took holiday, because she took leave for my exam, and I called father and I told them the score. They were so happy. My brother came back from school. He was so happy. My mother counted the marks and told me it was 481, that is 96.2. I was so lost. I don't know what to do. And she was constantly telling me, it's Thursday, on Sunday you are having the exam, now sit for study. And then seeing everyone happy, I also became very happy. Wow, 96.2. So I resumed the studies after this session of my result out. I gave my exam on 5th May. I was delighted. After coming back from the hall, I said my father, I am in. According to the answer key, it was 604, then it was 609, and according to the final answer key, it was 599. This score of 320 in biology, 136 in physics, and 143 in chemistry. With a rank of 7990, I got admitted to Neelratna Sirkar Medical College, Kolkata in 2019, and now I'm a second professional MBBS student. Thank you.